안녕하세요. Hello. My name is John McDougall. As she said, I'm a lead designer in General Motors' Advanced Design Studio, as well as a co-founder and creative officer for a sustainable toothbrush company called BOGO Brush. I have this slide up on the screen. It's a quote from one of my favorite architects and designers, William McDougall, who says, "Design is the first signal of human intention." I first came across this when I was in design school, and it's something that's stuck with me. And I think about at the beginning of every project that I work on. What am I trying to signal to the world? What intentions am I putting out there? And how can I use design to help guide us towards a more sustainable future? The first project that I'll talk about is something that's near and dear to my heart. It's a company that I co-founded with my sister, and it's about reimagining personal care products in a sustainable way. So I'll start with a short video. So, why a toothbrush? Well, my sister and I grew up, actually, as children of a dentist. And although neither of us had any intention of going into that line of business, I went off to design school, my sister went to law school, and we kept having conversations about sustainability and the planet and how we could put our intentions into the world. And just so happened, we started with the toothbrush. The more we started digging, the more problems we saw. As a designer, I saw toothbrushes as shameful and horrible looking. They have these grips and gimmicks that make them completely unrecyclable because there's multiple types of plastic, which leads to over 1 billion brushes that are being sent to, at best, the landfill, or at worst, our natural habitats each year. And on top of that, the social side, there's over 80 million Americans that don't have access to dental care in the US. So we knew we could do better. For me, that always starts with a clean sheet of paper and a sketch. We ended up with this pure, minimal form that's designed to fit perfectly in any hand. We referenced things like an artist's paintbrush or professional dental tools that allow you to move them in your hand to reach any part of your mouth. We then pair it with a stand, which displays the brush, keeping it clean and dry, and really elevates a toothbrush from something you might hide in a dirty cup or cabinet to an object you proudly display in your home. But no product is beautiful if it's sitting in a landfill. So we've designed ours to never have to. Our nature collection is made from plants. We use things like coffee, hemp, flax, and cotton to create this rich, biodegradable finish. But if composting isn't an option, our recycled collection takes scrap plastics and gives them another chance at life. These are just as easy for you to recycle when it's time for your next brush. This has allowed us to reduce the plastic weights of over 440,000 plastic bottles, and by manufacturing locally, we've saved over 100 tons of CO2. We really believe that doing good should be good for business. And so for every toothbrush we sell, we give back to people in need. We've done neighborhood trash cleanups, we've donated thousands of toothbrushes across the US and Central America, and we've funded prairie grassland restoration and reforestation projects. This all sounds good, but it wouldn't mean anything if the market didn't respond. Unfortunately, it has. In 2020, just a couple years after launch, we were profitable, which is a huge step for a startup. We're for sale in over 2,000 stores across the US, and since launching, we've had 3 years of exponential growth. This is just the beginning of where we want to take the brand. Our upcoming children's collection and children's book try to show that even something as simple as brushing your teeth can be a big adventure. We want to make it fun and easy for anyone in your family to take care of their smile and do good in the process. We're actively fundraising to bring these products to life, as well as future products to continue to disrupt the consumer product space. So toothbrushes are one part of what I've designed, but another big part is my work at General Motors. So cars by day, toothbrushes by night. The first project I'll share with you is something that I'm really proud of. It's what I've worked on the longest in my career at GM, and that's the Cruise Origin, which is likely to be the world's first mass-produced, electric, shared autonomous vehicle. Here's a glimpse at the reveal last year in San Francisco.
What we're showing you today is what you'd build if there were no cars. Meet the Cruise Origin. It is self-driven. It is all electric. It is shared. It is not a concept. It is a production vehicle.
I've got a ridiculous amount of space here. You can touch your toes, you can stretch.
Awesome and affordable. It's right for you. Electric and shared. And that's what's right for the world.
So the problems that we're trying to solve with the Origin are big and they're really clear. In the US alone, over 42,000 people died last year from car crashes. On top of that, congestion is a huge cause of stress, pollution, not to mention the time that it takes us away from the things and the people we care about. And then if you think about a car, it's sitting parked 95% of its life. That's a huge waste of our money, not to mention the space that we use to plan cities. So the Origin is a new take on urban transportation, where it's shared, it's electric. And when we're designing a car, we often try to think about the face of a car, and usually that's the front. It's the headlights, it's the signature. But on this car, we thought of the side, the part that you enter as the face. So we tried to create a really graphic, iconic silhouette for the side of the vehicle to invite you in. The two doors open and give you a wide, inviting entryway into a space that we tried to think of as a modern social lounge. We didn't want this to feel like a car or public transit or a plane or anything that you've been used to. And by optimizing the space that we get, by taking away the steering wheel, we're able to create a much larger space for passengers in the interior. This is referenced, like the lounge seating that we designed is referenced from things like residential furniture. Again, we didn't want this to feel like a car. We wanted it to feel like the next step in transportation. This allows us to have this social campfire layout where everyone has their space, but you're able to interact with people in a car, unlike anything that you have today. So if something like the Origin is the ultimate vision for the future of transportation, we know that's not going to happen overnight. And so for me, as a designer, the question is, how can we get people excited about an electric future, a sustainable future that might not be otherwise? You know, the challenge with early electric cars is they didn't appeal to people that were car enthusiasts, people that love sports cars, that love to drive. With the Avista, we tried to show that an electric car can be sexy, it can be emotional. There's no reason it can't be. It can have a timeless style. It can have an interior that communicates the speed and the fun that an electric car represents. This is a little behind the scenes look at how we develop a concept car, starting with sketches, moving into all the details, and eventually working in a full-size clay model. Here I am putting some finishing touches on the clay model before eventually moving into the final concept. It's always exciting to see the sketch move through this stage and come to life in front of your eyes. The great thing about this car is that it did appeal to those people, those car enthusiasts that were skeptical about electric cars, got excited about this. And it just shows that with good design, we can make people excited about a sustainable future. Another example of this approach is the Hummer EV, which was about reimagining an off-road icon in an electric platform. This is LeBron James's first reaction to the vehicle.
I can't wait to push this, boy. Damn. GMC should be extremely proud of themselves of the build of this beast. The details inside and exterior is second to none. Obviously, you know, they spent a lot of hours on making sure the quality and the detailing of this vehicle is amazing. And for it to be all electric, for it to still have that power and that presence of a Hummer. Don't be surprised when you see me rolling down the street in this. You know what I'm saying? I might be in Ohio back at the crib. Might catch me in LA, one of these LA streets rolling around. So futuristic, but so bold at the same time. It's like sleek and bold. Love it.
So the original Hummer had a pretty bad reputation in the environmental world. It was big, it had terrible fuel economy, not to mention its military background. But the reality is that in the US, the top 3 best-selling vehicles are all full-size pickup trucks. So if we're serious about reducing the carbon footprint and moving to an electric future, we have to provide vehicles for all types of customers. We have to get people excited about what an electric vehicle could mean. So the Hummer EV represents that idea. It's about making people excited about an electric future, showing people that an electric vehicle can be more powerful, more capable, it can be faster, it can take you anywhere. On the interior, we tried to bring the technology right to the forefront with big screens and a clean, simple, iconic design. Moving into through the clay model, adding details to make you really feel like this is a super truck and like it's something that you would never be able to achieve with your traditional pickup. Again, seeing the details coming to life. The final project that I'll share with you today is the final step, I'll say, in bringing that electric future to life. We've talked about moving through the cities, sports cars, pickup trucks, but something that's often overlooked is the commercial space. The reality is that delivery trucks are often diesel, and they're a big contributor of air pollution and greenhouse gases. Package delivery has exploded in the last 10 or 15 years, and it's only expected to continue. And on top of that, drivers are operating in these old, unsafe vehicles. They don't have air conditioning, they don't have airbags, and it's really not a great way to make a living. So with the BrightDrop EV600, we tried to create a blank slate approach to commercial delivery with all the functions that a driver needs in a way that can safely operate in our cities. The vehicle has a clean, simple design that's meant to stand the test of time. And the interior is where the real innovation happens. It's where we've introduced simple features that we're used to in our own vehicles, like air conditioning, airbags, a screen, all the creature comforts that we come to expect in a car, we're now bringing to these commercial drivers. We've created innovations throughout the interior, inside and out, and I think that'll be a big part in driving down carbon emissions going forward. So, going back to this quote, design is the first signal of human intention. For me, I've intended to signal towards a cleaner, safer, more delightful future. And I'll continue to try to do that on all the projects I work on. I would encourage you to think about your intentions, whether it's through design or business or whatever you're creating. What are you trying to signal for a more sustainable, better planet? So thank you. I'm excited to answer any questions and honored to be here with you all today.